Hello, welcome to the OGG Weekly Podcast. I'm here with James Mather.
Hello, Capital Wasteland.
And Toby Barstow.
I'll do anything for credits.
There's episode 8 for Friday, November the 13th. And
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. I hope that's no segue into some fucking NES games, is it, Mather?
No.
But it's been a special week. Mather celebrated a birthday, didn't you, Mather?
Yeah, 16 now. Ooh, fancy me.
16? You're a bit too old for me.
Unfortunately. That's on record now. Just saying. You've been noted. Bloody hell.
Right, Mather.
Yo.
You haven't played Fallout 4.
No.
I'm a little bit disappointed in you.
But I have played Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 and Fallout 3 and Fallout Tactics and Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to run through a few news stories and then we're just going to talk about Fallout pretty much. Rainbow Six Siege Season Pass dated $23.99.
No maps.
Maps. No, I don't think it's maps. Is it maps? I think it's skins, blah, blah.
You level up quicker as well.
Yeah, you level up. You know, your normal crap. $23.99 is not too bad for a season pass, but
$23.99 for skins and leveling up quicker. Are you serious?
yeah. When you take note of what it is, it does sound quite expensive.
It's not even maps, man. That's ridiculous.
Are they?
Oh, look at that. I've just seen as well, you get 2 extra daily challenges. Whoa, now I can turn it into a real job.
I'm definitely buying that season pass. I'm not buying the game, so yeah. I think Rainbow Six is one of the games where they said the map packs were going to be free, right? Or am I making that up? I know.
I don't think they said they were doing maps for free. But,
Halo are doing it. I don't know.
Battlefield 4 did it as well. They put out some free maps recently.
Xbox One outsold the PlayStation 4 in the US last month, which was obviously going to happen with Halo obviously being a system seller, Tomb Raider exclusive, timed exclusive, and generally they've just got a better games lineup this year.
and not to mention everyone already owns a PS4.
And that. We'll also mention that PlayStation also they had a price cut, so it's pretty good for Microsoft. The thing with Microsoft is they only ever come out and announce sales figures when they've beaten the PlayStation, which has been like 2 months out of 2 years. Otherwise, you never get any sales figures. So yeah, they're bragging about that. Fallout shipped 12 million units, which is incredible. And keep listening to the podcast, and we'll tell you why it shipped 12 million, and we'll tell you why it's incredible. It definitely deserves the praise it's getting. UFC 2 been announced with Ronda Rousey as the cover star. Any of you guys play UFC?
I played UFC. Bloody hell! It was on the Xbox 360, 2009. I think was the last UFC I played.
With Anderson Silva on the front cover. Yeah.
The last one I played was Undisputed.
Yeah, one with Brock Lesnar on the cover. I love UFC. I'm not into it anymore. I used to love the watching UFC, but it went downhill. And just like the games, gone downhill.
I'm all about those. They've started a new version of like sort of UFC style, but it's now night fighting instead. They get 2 guys dressed in chainmail with a fake sword and shield, and they beat the crap out of each other.
Okay, sounds cool, man.
You should definitely watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah, that sounds right up my street.
It's going straight in my basket.
If you played the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, you if you played it, I think not owned it. I didn't get a code or anything in the box, but I think as long as you've played it on your account, you're entitled to the 4 previous games via backwards compatibility.
Ooh, that's fancy as well. Backwards compatibility.
I've got more anyway because they've all been games of gold. So, but I know the people who haven't played them, fair enough. But the codes, Microsoft will be sending codes out for them starting December the 1st. So yeah, if you have played it, you will get codes for the previous 4 games. And I want to talk a little bit about backwards compatibility, actually, because it hit this week.
What, you mean we get to play old Marketplace games now?
Get to play 90% of arcade games. I mean, a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, I read out the complete list. Well, what I thought was the list. It was a leaked list, but unfortunately that was wrong. And that list was 10 times better than the original list, the list that actually is backwards compatible. I've written down a couple of standout games that I like. And we've obviously got Assassin's Creed 2, which is the best in the series, in my opinion. Beyond Good and Evil, the HD version that was released on Xbox Live Arcade. You got Condemned, Criminal Origins, which is a launch 360 game, but I don't know if you guys ever played it. I think me and Toby mentioned it in the Halloween special, and it's a real good game. Real scary, real atmospheric, but God, it's like 8-9 years old. I'm not sure it's going to hold up anymore. Crazy Taxi. Everyone loves a bit of Crazy Taxi. I'm glad to be playing that again. I don't know if you guys are a fan.
Oh, I loved it on PlayStation 2. It was amazing.
It's a great little time killer, isn't it?
See, Crazy Taxi. I didn't really play Crazy Taxi. I had Simpsons Road Rage.
Oh yeah, that was the Crazy Taxi knockoff at once.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
But I love that as well.
That was brilliant. That was probably better than Crazy Taxi. The original Doom and Doom 2 Xbox Live Arcade ports, they're in there.
Doom and Doom 2.
Doom 2. I've written my notes.
Sweet.
Doom 2. Doom, right.
Doom
awesome.
2, Doom harder.
I've always wanted to play Doom on my Xbox One because with the power of the Xbox One, you know. Whew.
But you could, only 30 frames per second though, maybe. And 720p.
Very certain
To be
32x
fair,
are
though,
quicker than that.
Yeah, you say that. I mean, looking at how the original Doom ran, that I used to have on floppy disk, that was like
Cool.
500 kilobytes. That was
You
what? That
walked
was probably
5 meters. Please insert the next floppy disk.
Talking about floppy. Right, yeah, let's move on. Earthworm Jim HD, which is
Whoa! We can't just leave that. What the hell was that all about?
What
floppy.
we're talking about floppy. Look at this list.
Floppy was a segue into Earthworm Jim. Worm, floppy? No? Alright. Yeah, Earthworm Jim HD is there. Fallout 3, obviously, that come free with copies of Fallout 4. But actually, I want to mention only for a certain amount of time. There is expiry date on the redeemed codes. I think you've got to do it by February or something, 2016. I think you have to redeem them codes by them. Otherwise, you
To
miss.
be fair though, Bethesda have been really good with it because I've noticed that all the way through they've been doing deals where at one point it was if you pre-order you get a code for Fallout 3. Another one was if you pre-order before this date you get a free Brotherhood of Steel t-shirt, and they've done obviously if you spend an extortionate amount of money and you're really really quick you can get a Pip-Boy. And
Yeah, the
they've-
Pip Boys sold like hotcakes, didn't they?
Pip-Boy's already on eBay and they're like 70 quid, but no game.
I think game.co.uk they done like a little bundle, I think, where you got an art book and a bobblehead, and I think Shop 2 they've done like a similar package where you got a pair of Fallout socks, a t-shirt,
Fallout socks, I've got some of them.
bits and pieces. So yeah, there's a lot of places have had exclusives. Right, yeah, so you got the Gears of War 1, 2, 3, Judgment. You got Golden Axe, Just Cause 2, Mirror's Edge, the Sega Vintage Collection of Streets of Rage, that's the game I'm really excited about. Streets of Rage is Streets of Rage 2 is one of my favourite games ever. Playing 1 and 3 is really bad compared to 2. South Park Stick of Truth, I know a lot of people are really excited to see that on there, and that is a game I played it but I didn't finish, so I will go back to that.
It was actually a really good game. Like as a mini RPG, it was actually really good.
I think a lot of people missed out on it because it was the back end of the 360 where the Xbox One was launched.
Yeah,
So that
definitely.
I missed it unfortunately, but
that's an obvious choice.
Compatibility, I'm gonna go for.
You got Sonic 1, 2, 3 Sonic CD, but no Sonic and Knuckles, which is strange. Every Sonic game that comes to Xbox Live Arcade,
I've got a Mega Drive now, so I don't need that bullshit.
apart from Sonic and Knuckles. Right, that's that out of the way. What have you been playing, Toby?
Well, since a minute past midnight Tuesday morning, Fallout.
Oh, I played it Monday. I got mine Monday. Just saying.
Yeah, well, you know, look how upset you got when I had mine pre-installed since Sunday.
Okay. Toby, how is it?
I don't even know how to describe it. It is a solid game from what I've played so far. I'm only 12 hours in, but I'm in love with it. It does have some glaring flaws though.
Like
Oh,
the Mass Effect style talking thing.
well, Toby, you just described the PC version for a little bit, then I'll go on describe my experience with the console version. So I think it's good that we're playing it on two different platforms. And from what I've
Yeah.
heard, the PC is far superior. So if you say you've got glaring problems, you can just imagine the problems that I'm going to have.
Can you get Fallout 4
It's
on the Sega Mega Drive? Yeah.
No.
it's nothing too major. It's nothing too major. It's typical Bethesda sort of flaws. So the things that you can look past because
The Bethesda bullshit, yeah.
yeah, because they reward you with a game, with solid gameplay, an amazing storyline, loads and loads and loads of content that really fleshes out the map, so you don't really feel like you're walking an empty space.
Yeah.
But it's just that at the stage we're at now, like as an example, I was walking along one day and I just saw like a car randomly fall from the sky. or, or, you'll be walking along and
Dragons flying backwards.
you'll see the main freeway bridge, like what part of it.
Yeah.
And then if you move the camera a certain way, part of the bridge will disappear. And it's typical Bethesda stuff that you can look past, but some of their funny little glitches and things you just can't ignore.
Well, I've been on GameFAQs, and a lot of them call it the Bethesda charm. But if the Bethesda charm was in any other game, it would literally be called game breaking, and but as it's Bethesda, you can kind of let it off, can't you? I've made a YouTube video actually. I'm making a series of them called Fallout 4 bugs. Not the bugs you kill, bugs in the game, and I've only uploaded one video so far, but it's I'm clearing out the subway station.
Oh yes, I saw this.
And I shoot these. I've got these ghouls running at me. I shoot one dead, and he falls to the stairs and kind of slides through the stairs, but then falls out the sky, and then he comes out the sky, through the stairs, out the sky, through the stairs, kind of like a continuous loop, and for about 30 seconds. I'm like, wow. But to be fair, console versions is, I'm saying, 14 hours in, and it's been really smooth. In built-up areas with a lot of enemies, slight frame rate drops. Nothing too bad, but you do get this, a slight frame rate drop. I mean, how's the PC version for frame rate drops?
It's strange because there's nothing in particular that causes it, but I've noticed that I'm playing it maxed out and it will run perfectly smooth up until about 45 minutes to an hour, where you'll get maybe 2 frames a second for 3 seconds at most, and then it'll run smooth again for up to an hour, and then maybe for a second it might drop slightly, and then it'll back to normal. And
it's not affecting your enjoyment at all.
No, it's stuff you can look past because it is literally a couple of seconds. If it was a terrible frame rate all the way through, then I'd be screaming at Bethesda saying, "What's this?" But it's nothing that's really affecting it.
No, and let's talk about the game. Where do we start? I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, it's every part of Fallout game, and it's filled.
Before we go any further, to anyone listening to this, we will. Quick disclaimer: there's going to be 0 spoilers in this podcast, so you can listen comfortably. We're not going to ruin anything.
I know the ending though.
And if Mather just shout the ending out, I'm going to find his address and I will personally murder him myself. I will gut him like a fish.
Oh.
And I was saying to Mather, I said to him earlier when he mentioned he knew the ending. Obviously, I don't want to know, but I said to him, I'm not really fussed about the main story of these games. They're not the reason I play these games. I make my own stories. I make my own adventures.
Well, I mean, I know it sounds really like geeky and shit, but when I first got Fallout 3, I spent like most of my time role playing and making up my own quests and adventures.
Oh yeah, that's what the game is.
Yeah, I do the exact same thing. I mean, I do make the game what it is for me, but part of me still obviously has. You have to kind of cherish the main quest line. That's almost like off to go.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's off to find your holy grail. And
yeah.
But It's like
Well,
I've said,
stay away from YouTube comments because that's how I found out the ending.
but I'm 12 hours in and I've still not even made it to the first major city the quest line sends you to because I've
Yeah,
been so busy.
Dynasty.
Like, well, I'm off to go and do this, and now I want to do that, and you can really fill your time up with this.
I think this is a perfect segue into the into my story of how I got to Diamond City, which, like Toby said, is one of the major cities. It's a city built in the Boston baseball stadium, which is really good. It's really nice. It's a lovely view. You've got all the floodlights of the stadium round, and you've got in the bowl. You've got this little market area. It's really nice. But yeah, this game is harsh. This game has harsh radiation poisoning. I mean, it wasn't the other Fallouts, but I think it's more in this game. Do you, Toby? I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about. You're only playing it on normal.
oh,
Come up to the real difficulties.
City.
literally everything gives you radiation poisoning in this game. These ghouls, like you take a hit from a ghoul and that's it. You can think, Toby, what was the percentage you get on your difficulty?
So at the moment, it's between 10 and 15 radiation for one hit from a ghoul.
And when you've got like 5, 6, 7 of them coming at you, you soon get radiation poisoning. And so I had a bit of radiation poisoning, and I ran out of Radaways, which is the drug that heals it. And I'd done this random quest where I had to swim in this water and fix these leaky pipes.
Yeah, I know that quest.
Do that one, and I got completely my radiation poisoning went up. Literally, my bar was like 90% red of radiation poisoning.
Yeah, see, what you're supposed to do is jump in the water, fix it, and get out the water as quick as you can and maneuver yourself near the next point.
Yeah, I was just swimming for the bubble, from the air bubble to the air bubble. So that, and I had no, what's the is it Radaway, isn't it? It's called? Yeah. And literally, when you are, when you have radiation poisoning, your health, literally one shot and your health goes right down, and so 90% of my bar was red. So literally one bullet would virtually kill me. So I scavenged for a little bit. I couldn't find any medicine. I had nothing in my inventory to make the medicine, so I googled it actually. Like, where can I get it? This early on in the game, and actually I was quite surprised to see a GameFAQs topic on this, because a lot of people were saying they've had the same problem, and the only doctor is in Diamond City, so I had to get to Diamond City without seeing any enemies. So I literally had to sneak to Diamond City. It took about 20 minutes, manoeuvring around the fucking bushes and trees and stuff. Finally, I got there and I got to a doctor and I got healed. And I bought all his Radaways. But Jesus Christ, the rad in this game. Actually,
Yeah, I mean,
Hazard sucks as well now.
I've had I spent a good portion of the first the first end of what I've played so far with 30% radiation poisoning, nothing for healing, and I'm literally like every fight or between fights, I'm scavenging like radiated mashed potatoes and drinking dirty water from lakes, and like that game was tough at an opening. I think now that I'm a bit further in and getting some gear and stuff, I mean, I've found 4 or 5 hospitals so far that have at least given you something. But I mean, like I said, I'm one of those people that scavenges every last centimeter and searches for everything. So I've started to make a small stockpile. But yeah, things like Radaway in particular are so scarce that I've had to forward plan before going into an engagement, where instead you take Radex to reduce how much radiation you take. And, you've really had to forward plan and think every individual move before progressing.
I mean, especially, I can't imagine how bad it is on your difficulty, but even that applies to me on normal, and it's a very tough game, and it's doesn't take any prisoners. But you mentioned hospitals there, and that's another story I've got. I mean, I played 14 hours, and I've got so many stories already to tell.
Yeah, same.
I love this game, and this is what the game does to you. I stumbled across the hospital, and there's like 3 super mutants outside. So I had a sniper rifle and I took all them out. One had one of them bleeping mines on his arm, the kamikaze super mutant. So
yeah, Jesus Christ.
I targeted that, blew him up, and I think he blew up a couple of guys next to him. And they have these fucking dogs now, don't they? Toby, these
Yeah, the mutated
super
dog
mutant
hounds
dogs,
things.
and
Yeah.
they're really hard to kill. And I thought, right, hospital. I had about 20 healing items. What are they called? The Stimtech things.
Oh, stim packs.
Stim packs. I had about 20 of them, which is not a lot really, and I always like to build them up. So I thought,
I've
right,
never had that many.
I'm gonna raid this hospital, build all my healing items up, and literally I went in the door and there's about, on the little radar you've got like red dots for enemies. There's about 25 of them in there, 25 super mutants, and being this early in the game, any normal person would have turned around and walked out. But me, I thought, I'll take them on, and I literally used all my health items. I used every bit of ammo, and I still had about 5, 6 of them left, and I had to turn around and go out. So literally, I've just went into that hospital. I've wasted all my ammo, all my healing items for nothing, and I just didn't want to leave because you see that many enemies and you think, well, right, they're guarding something bigger. There's something good in this building, and I want to see what it is, and that's what Fallout does to you. And I literally wasted all my resources on that one building. But I did go back in the end with I got equipped with the old power armor. And I went in there and cleared it out. But
See, I took the opposite approach. I came across an armory that I found the password to get in,
yeah,
and because the whole thing was locked and shut down, I thought, cool, this place is going to be empty. I found the hidden password. I'm going to go and get something really shiny. And I got inside, and there was just a few ghouls scattered around, so I dealt with those quite heavily. And there were still 2 more red dots on the map, so I thought, right, okay, I'll clear those out, and then I'll really clear this, go through and with a fine-tooth comb and pick through this place. And when I got up there, it was 2 legendary ghouls.
Oh, we'll talk about legendary enemies in a minute. Yeah.
The issue I had with that is I'd already taken one out previously, and they're the one enemy that I really struggle with because of how quick they are and how much damage radiation does and how much damage they do. And
Yeah.
So immediately I thought, right, not worth it. I'm going to head out, go. I'm not going to even try to fight them because now what I'm going to do is obviously I know where they are. I know what's in there. So I'll gear up, sort myself out, get a few levels under me, and then go back.
Yeah.
Because I've got that kind of marked on my map. Because
once you
that's
discover
gonna
it,
be hit eventually.
Once you discover it, you can go back anytime. As long as you discover it, you can always go back, which is cool. Talk about the legendary enemies are new, aren't they? Literally, they're like twice as hard, but they drop legendary items as well, which is a really good idea.
See, so far my luck with the legendary drops haven't really been that much.
No,
I've got nothing from the couple of legendary super mutants I've killed.
Oh yeah,
I've got
a story about the fat man, which is.
Oh, yeah. So I had to go and raid this. I had to, without obviously giving anything away, I had to go and obtain something. And it turns out super mutants had turned the place into a base. So I went in and started happily killing them. And every so often I kept hearing some beeping, and I thought, well, to me, beeping means a bomb's going to go off, run away. And I'd carry on killing, and then I'd hear the beeping getting closer again. So I'd think, right, okay, they were obviously firing another bomb, get away. And after a while, I could hear the beeping kind of maintained a certain distance away. And when I looked over, I could see a super mutant hugging something red in his arm, like a rugby ball, running towards my dog. And then all I saw was him explode in a cloud of gore and like this mushroom cloud going up into the sky, where he'd gone on a suicide run.
Beeping is the end of the world for me, mate, because whenever I hear beeping, it means the electric is going. So I've got to quickly run over to the meter and put it on before my Xbox turns off.
But yeah, then after that, I ended up getting one of the achievements, touchdown, because there was a super mutant with a fat boy, which is basically a nuclear warhead firer, like cannon thing. And while running around, starting to get a little bit cocky while I'm shooting and killing super mutants, I ended up taking a warhead from the fat boy straight to the face.
Full on to the face.
And yeah, ended up in pieces in a mushroom cloud, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah. Again, I got that. That's the one I didn't know what that was, and I had that randomly pop, and until I spoke to Toby before the podcast, I didn't know what it was for, but then I obviously know now. So yeah.
Yeah, that's for catching an explosive.
Maver.
Yo.
You should have played the game, man. You could have joined in, but no, you didn't want to play it. You're too
Money.
busy playing NES games.
Playing 3DS games actually.
3DS games. You've been playing Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about that before me and Toby get back to Fallout? Just thought we'd include you a little bit in this podcast because Minnie McPaster will be upset otherwise.
Oh man, you won't be able to hear my voice. Well, I will be getting Fallout 4 soon. I've got the money to get it, but I didn't be able to pick it up this week unfortunately. But it does look pretty good. The one thing I will comment on is the speech system, though, which looks absolute dog shit.
What way?
The Mass Effect style speech system, because I saw a screenshot where it was like yes, no, and then sarcasm. Like, what does the sarcasm mean?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used the sarcasm selection.
I was talking to my housemate earlier, who he wasn't big on getting Fallout 4. Until the day it came out, and he'd seen how hyped I was getting, and he said to me, "Oh, I've bought into the hype, picked up Fallout 4," and I was talking to him today because we sort of at the end, like when we get home from work, we have like a daily catch up of what we got up to the day before on Fallout.
That's awesome.
And he was saying to me that he was in a speech, like in sort of a chat with someone, and he kind of missed what they'd said.
Yeah.
And he saw the options, like basically yes, no, sarcasm, and there was another one at the top, earn respect.
Yeah.
And because he didn't quite catch the context of what had been said before, he took earn respect to say, oh, you have to earn my respect sort of thing. And instead he got to see his character turn into a little bitch to someone like, oh, well, what can I do to make you like me?
Oh, no, really? I'll delete my save and start again and that. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I'll stick to I still prefer the the box with like what your character exactly says and then the other character responds to it. I don't like having my character having a voice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you get like the speech challenges. It used to be like a percentage and stuff, and now they're just different colours, aren't they? Which is, I don't really like that. They're just like the selections of different colours for like what chance you have of making them do what you say and stuff like that. And the speech is a bit different. Again, I'm not really bothered. It's all right. It's not too bad.
One thing I'm not too keen on though is, like Mava said, is the amount that you talk.
Yeah.
Because I like to really sort of imagine myself as being in that position, like really immerse myself. And I think when you're hearing some other dude's voice who's just rabbiting on and on in speech moments, it's like, well, I can't really picture myself anymore.
Do you kind of wish you still had the silent protagonist, like from the other games? Do you wish you didn't speak? Do you wish?
See, I don't mind a healthy medium, but in this style of game, especially with Bethesda games, I much prefer being the silent protagonist, or like like with Fallout and Skyrim. And the Elder Scrolls series, where you just had a series of options of what you could say, and then you can just imagine yourself saying it.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like those games, instead of, I don't know, Saints Row 2, for example, Saints Row 1, for example, where someone's just talking at you and you stand there silently and they're like, yeah, man, maybe you're right and stuff. I didn't like that, but...
Yeah, that's a bit fucking dog shit. Right, should we talk about some of the new features in Fallout 4, like the building mechanics?
Or like the fact that they've made power armor actually power armor now.
I love the power armor. I feel fucking invincible in that.
Oh, I'd love it.
And I've seen quite a few power armors just scattered over the wasteland as well. I think I've seen 3 now.
Yeah, because what my plan is I want to start collecting up a few sets. And I'll probably make them identical, but position them in different places around the map, just so I've always got access.
Just like at your settlements and stuff. What do you make of the building mechanics, Mava, Toby? Obviously, I like the way they don't really force it on you. I mean, you can go through the whole game without really getting into depth with any of that stuff. But I think you have to do a little bit for a quest at the beginning. It kind of gives you a very, very basic tutorial. Very basic.
Yeah, I mean, and even then, that was only explaining to you what each icon meant, basically, and showed you how you could increase it.
Build a water. Do this to that, yeah.
But, I mean, I like it. One thing I like, though, is that they've given you they've catered to both types of people in games, where you get the solid role player
Yeah.
who just wants to focus on their character. So in the crafting system, they give you prefab buildings
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you could just go and get the materials and say, I just want that building. And they're like, there you
It's,
go. There's a building built
could
for you.
you
You
could
don't have to worry about it.
stack a few together, attach a bridge. That's it. That's
Yeah.
easy done.
But I like the fact that also because I mean, there's a whole series I'm planning on doing called Building Sanctuary,
Lovely.
where I'm going to go into Sanctuary and do the whole thing up. We're going to do that properly with actually, placing individual wall pieces and trying to drum up some form of community to get their input and people to make suggestions. And
you can even put like decorations. You can put the flooring down. You could put pictures up. You could put light bulbs in and stuff. You have to get the generators and.
Yeah, one thing that took me a while to notice though was, obviously when you put a generator down, you have to actually wire it.
You have to attach the wires, don't you? Oh yeah.
And it took me a while to figure out. I was like, okay, attach wire. And instead, I'm looking at the crafting menu like, wires? Where are wires? Things like that. I didn't realise it was just highlight the item and button them together.
You don't have to make the wires. But obviously, nothing in the wasteland is useless. Like literally in Fallout 3, all this like you get burnt books and desk fans and telephones and stuff like that. It'll all be junk. I mean, you wouldn't have any use for these items. They weren't worth anything. But now, literally, everything in the wasteland is worth something. I went on a quest for desk fans, so I could break them down to get the screws out to make weapon mods and stuff.
Yeah, seriously, screws, and to anyone that gets into it or wants to start crafting who already has it, if you see any duct tape or glue or any form of adhesive, grab it. It is like gold in the wasteland.
Really is, and like fans you can get screws out of, and copper as well. Copper's quite hard to come by. You need that for a lot of the electric generated and stuff, and the lights and towers. Copper, springs. You get toasted, you get the springs out of them for weapon parts. But yeah, literally, that's the thing as well. I'm always my inventory. I've got the perk now to carry more, but I'm always full up because I literally carry so much stuff.
See, I'm one of those people that goes home at the end of the day.
You just drop it all. You can transfer it all, can't you? And you can...
Yeah. So I've got a small house that I've built, and at the end of the day, once I get to a certain point, I'll go back to the house to get my rested bonus, drop stuff off into my various containers, and head back out again.
It's just a really smart idea. I'm just a hoarder. Yeah, the rest bonuses. If you're fully rested, you get more XP, don't you? If you're fully rested, which is really encourages you to go back to your sleep anyway. You can sleep as long as the bed's not owned. You can sleep anywhere, but it does encourage that.
You get a much bigger bonus for sleeping in your own bed.
Yeah,
I mean the amount of crafting stations around and building a sleeping bag takes a few scraps of cloth.
Yeah,
you can set up camp anywhere.
Yeah, you can. So yeah, the building elements, they're definitely not required really, but they're definitely there if you want to get into that. Like Toby said, if you can build your own settlements, literally from individual wall parts, or you got ready-made stuff, which I've just literally dumped a metal tin down, put a bed in it, and put a chair in it, and that's my little cabin at the moment. I haven't really delved too much into that, but it's certainly an option, and I probably will get into that. Combat, similar, but the thing I like about this game is the shooting feels more first-person shooter-ish. It's a lot better, because I remember in Fallout 3 in New Vegas, you literally did have to VAT your way through the game. The shooting out of VATs was pretty bad, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about shooting.
Playing it on console, yeah, I completely agree. On PC, not so much, but then again, like I said, having control of a first-person perspective with a mouse makes everything so much easier. Yeah,
definitely. But yeah, with the controller on the console version, the shooting in 3 in New Vegas is pretty dire, but that's been rectified pretty well here. The VATs is still important, but also, I can't remember if this happened in 3. when you went into VATS mode, did it completely stop time, or did it slow time? Because on this one, enemies still come at you and you still get attacked whilst in VATS. I don't know if that's new or did that happen in 3. I can't remember.
It happened in Vegas, so I
Yeah.
assume it happened in 3. I can't really remember too much that far back, but
Did it stop time completely, VATS, or did it slow it right down?
Originally that's first time.
It did freeze time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, if I'm just,
To be honest with you, I didn't like the whole freezing time thing. I like the new slowdown because when you froze time, you could just, I can just chillax now. The whole slowing down thing keeps you on your feet and on your, and
yeah,
keeps the
definitely.
game going.
It was a get out of jail free card. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like that in this game. Literally, they'll still come at you and they'll still hit you.
And I like the fact that it's not too slow either.
No.
Like, you do still get hit when you're in VATS.
Yeah, you do, and especially like things that leap at you.
Especially with I like the fact as well that this time round the percentage chance of hitting a part does actually vary if they move while in VATS.
Yeah, it does.
So
You can completely miss a shot if they move.
Yeah, because I know it used to be that in VATS, if you, I don't know, say you had a ghoul standing directly in front of you face first,
Yeah.
it would give you a 75% chance you're going to hit its head. But if it dived at you and all of a sudden its head's unclear,
Yeah.
it would still be 75% because that's what it locked in as when you started VATS.
Yeah.
Whereas now, all of a sudden, that drops to 0. You're not going to see it. Which starts to try and make it more realistic while giving you the VAT system.
It's definitely tougher, this game. I've definitely found it's a lot more difficult. Also, the action points, when you sprint, you lose action points. When you use that to use action points. And now, say you're sprinting across the wasteland, that would take your action points away. And then suddenly you run into an enemy, you won't be able to lock on VATs because your action points have gone because you were sprinting. So that's also something to take into consideration as well.
And the using VATs actually builds up a crit bar as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah, the critical hit, which is really good. Nice little Vault Boy animation as well in there, Toby.
Oh, what, when he when he does the little point and wink,
the little double pistols things, yeah. Weapon mods, Toby, they're pretty good. You can literally customize scope, muzzle, every part of it, can't you? Every part of it.
At the moment, I'm going through a phase where I like light weapons.
Yeah.
So I do lightweight mods on all my weapons and ergo handles and start increasing the accuracy and how much weight they actually take up so I can carry more. Because to me, the way I'm playing it, strength is more of a dump stat.
Yeah.
Because I've never, ever seen the point of having to use melee weapons in Fallout. The amount of ammo that you can come across and you can find if you're willing to hop guns every so often is...
Well, see, that's a conversation we had in the week, wasn't it? Because I said to you, I found ammo very scarce in Fallout 3, and I concentrated on melee weapons, and I was a melee man. I literally, do you remember the Ripper, the little chainsaw?
Oh yeah.
I used to use that all the time. I loved it.
And when you go to Grandad in the flipping pit DLC.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the big spinning blade, wasn't it?
That was absolutely awesome to rip people to shreds with.
Yeah, and I was very focused on melee weapons, and like I said to Toby, this time I'm focusing on small arms, like small guns, like a little pistol with a scope and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going for the guns this time, man. I haven't seen many melee weapons. I'm 14 hours in. I think I've got a shock beacon and a plank of wood.
I've got the baton, a stun rod.
No Ripper. I want a fucking Ripper. Give me a.
Yeah, and I picked up a legendary plank of wood.
A legendary plank of wood. Jeez.
Yeah, it's got the it does 18 damage, which is nothing, but it's got the ability to do, 40% more damage to human-sized targets.
Oh, nice, cool.
So, but I mean, I don't use melee weapons. I've done the same thing I pretty much always do and gone with pistols and sniper rifles.
What are the upgrades of a plank of wood? Stick a nail through it or something? Put some barbed.
I've not even looked at it. I've not even looked at it. It's now sitting in a container in my house.
My beacon I had, literally the only upgrade available was electrify it. So I've done that. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I wanted sledge. I used to use a lot of the sledgehammers. Do you know the super mutants used to carry
Yeah, yeah.
sledgehammers? I used to use.
They used to carry that like pipe with a lump of concrete on the end of it.
Yeah, that's it. Like 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 the hammer from Halo. So yeah, I'm definitely changing my play style this time around.
Yeah, thinking it. Yeah, I mean, like, because you remember I said to you at one point throughout the Fallout series, I've always hated energy weapons.
Yeah,
I've always despised them, and recently I was given a special named energy rifle, and I was like, okay, that's cool. You've given me something sentimental. I probably won't use it. And then just because it was what I had equipped, I tested it out on like a passing, I don't know, rad scorpion or something.
fucking rad scorpions.
And as soon as I saw the damage it did, I was like, "Jeez, I think I'm going to be using this a lot." And I'd find that between I use obviously a very heavily modded 10 mil pistol, a pipe pistol, just because of the difference in ammo, so you never run out.
Yeah,
I've got two different sniper rifles again because of the difference in ammo. But then that laser rifle, um, as soon as I can see that I'm going against either super mutants or synths or sentries, anything mechanical, that's always the one that comes out because it's an amazing weapon to use.
I love the option to stick a bayonet as well on the end. That does when you stick
Yeah,
a bayonet on the end of a like a pipe rifle, the damage is really high. I mean, it's a really good thing when you got like I said earlier before the podcast. The enemies in one or two are okay, but as soon as you get a pack of 4, 5, 6 ghouls running at you, and especially legendary ghouls, you get backed into a corner, you are fucked, aren't you? The pipe rifle doesn't shoot enough. It's not quick enough. So the melee, the bayonet comes in really handy. You know, one, say you hit a critical shot, you'll get their health down 80%, and you can finish them off with the melee, which is it saves your life a lot of the time in that game.
not quite good. Like I said, strength a dump stat for me. So
Really, yeah.
instead, mine's run away like a little girl and then kite them around an open space and shooting at them or dropping mines or
What skill points do you focus in one category, or do you just do what random selection of skill points?
at the moment I focus my main stat is agility.
Yeah,
And then my secondary stat would be perception, and then I drop a little bit into endurance.
I like the old luck one. Give me some luck, please. But yeah, in the old games, I put a lot of it into strength because I was a melee man. But now I'm putting into like critical hit stuff. 20% more chance of a critical hit and just stuff like that, really. Because I'm very
Yeah, that's why I chose the way I went because agility's got its pistol perks, and then
yeah,
perception's got the sniper rifle perks, and
yeah,
obviously endurance means you can start going towards lead belly, so you reduce radiation from feeding, which at a higher difficulty level you have to eat the radiated food and stuff.
yeah.
So it's kind of a must-have. And I've noticed as well the top tier stat for that was you actually get regenerating health.
All right, really nice.
So yeah, I'm kind of putting a few points into that, working my way towards it, but it's kind of a tertiary goal.
Have you found any bobbleheads yet? I think I found 2 bobbleheads in 2 or 3 magazines. They're like collectibles.
I found a lot of magazines so far, but yeah, I've only found like 1 or 2 bobbleheads.
Yeah, there's a mission early on actually where you got to clear out these raiders.
Yeah, that's where I found the first one, I think.
Right at the top of the
Yeah.
yeah, that's what. And there's another one. There's another. Where you first meet the settlement group in that first village you come across, the Minutemen.
Hmm.
I think there's one in there on the desk. That building with all the
Yeah, it's in the office out the back, isn't
in
it?
the office. Yeah, so I found a couple of them. Again, I'm not gonna go looking for them now. If I see them, I see them. But that's the kind of thing. When I finish the game, I'll go back and probably use a guide if I'm honest, because there's a lot of
See, I'm
there's a lot
I'm
of
more
wasteland to
interested.
search. So
Yeah, I'm more interested in the comics.
all right, yeah,
Because of I mean, like the your special comic you get in your old house,
yeah,
where it's just like there's a free skill point, or there's a lot of comics that are specified particularly for companions.
yeah,
Because let's face it, it's dog meat is useless. He's kind of a I'll grab the aggro if you can't deal with it, and you can just run away.
But yeah, it's
Um,
well, like I said to you again, we spoke a lot this week about it. I said he was really peeing me off because he just kept getting murdered all the time. To
See,
be
no,
fair,
he's been my saving grace so many times now. Where it gets into you get attacked by a pack of ghouls you know you can't deal with. It's just like, yep, see you, dog meat, and you just kind of leave.
yeah, and it'll come. My little girl was watching me play it earlier, and she loves the dog. And literally, I ran away from a situation, and he was nowhere to be seen. She's like nearly crying. You left him behind, and literally
Isn't the dog invincible though?
5 minutes later, yeah, he turned up again, just randomly next to me. He's like, oh yeah, there he is.
Yeah,
It's fine.
he doesn't even hate you for it. He's still wagging his tail, and you're just like, oh, there's my dog.
But so in the hospital of hell, I'm going to call it, with all those super mutants, you'll know when you get there.
Yeah.
He saved my life because literally I walk into a room and there'll be a super mutant there, and literally he'll just hang off his leg. So the super mutant was too busy trying to fucking get dog meat off his leg, and I was just having clear shots at his head. So I've changed my mind. I love dog meat. I fucking love dog meat. He's
I think at the moment, out of the options I've got, my favourite is Preston.
I don't. Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
because what I've done, well, me and him are almost geared out identical, wearing like Brotherhood of Steel chest pieces and like cured leather armored bits with military gear and the assault gas masks.
Lovely.
And yeah, you give him a sniper rifle and tell him to use that instead of the weapon he comes with, and he is
Is he like Boone on Fallout New Vegas? He just headshots everyone.
similar. He comes with
innocent or not, he just pops heads for fun.
yeah, well, no, he's Preston is very, very I guess you can call him like, the light in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
He's very much, I don't care if we get paid or not, we have to save everyone. If they're a human, we must protect them.
Nice.
So he's he's really noble, but he doesn't like some of the choices I've made because
Yeah.
I don't play that nicely. But
I think I've only got 2 companions so far. I've got the Codsworth and Dogmeat.
yeah, so I've got Codsworth, Dogmeat, and
Where did you get
Preston.
Preston from?
you have to keep doing it. Well, obviously, I don't want to go into it too much. I'll tell you after the pod.
Alright. Yeah, story based. I haven't
yeah.
gone down that path yet then.
Yeah, because obviously I've ignored the main storyline, and instead I'm doing the secondary quest lines and things. And
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
so yeah, I mean, I'll explain it after the pod. But yeah, he's definitely a companion you want to take because he is lethal.
Yeah.
Very, very lethal.
Codsworth just pisses me off.
I won't even consider taking him.
He's an arsehole. Okay, so much to talk about. We're running out of time, but the character customization is really good. Really deep. I was surprised about actually how deep it really is. I guess you guys have seen some of the.
When I first opened it up, I was looking at it, and it obviously it said choose a default face. I'm like, okay, fair enough. And it said extras, and I'm like, oh great, I can change the shape of my nose. This is really basic. What have you done, Fallout? And carried on with just the stock face. I'm thinking, why have Fallout gone backwards with this?
Yeah.
There's literally nothing to it. And then once I got to the end of the opening, like the little railroad training wheel session.
Yeah.
And it says, are you sure you want this character? I thought, there's got to be more. And I went back into the editor and I realised it was through being able to change nose size that then you can change hair and everything. I'm like, Fallout, you've done me good. You've done me good.
And you could spend hours alone just creating. There's loads of YouTube videos of people creating celebrity faces. I think
like John Cena, Adolf Hitler.
John Cena's. I saw Beavis and Butthead as well. John Cena's good.
Did you see my message that I sent you when I first booted it up, where Bethesda have already given you, if you go to head number 11, I think it was, you've already got an almost carbon copy of Will Smith from I Am Legend there.
Yeah. I saw that. It's fantastic. I thought they might have made a human Vault Boy look-alike in the stock faces. I didn't actually.
Well, I noticed as a small Easter egg, if you go a bit further through, they've paid homage to Brynjolf from Skyrim. The guy that you meet at the very beginning that you've been arrested with.
Yeah.
they've got they've got a character that looks exactly like him, and he's a
Oh,
huge
wow.
build like the Nords are, and
That is really good.
yeah, so they've kind of paid homage to Skyrim there, and which was
I
quite
I
cool.
found a few Easter eggs. I made a video on YouTube. I found the Vault Boy, the Vault Tech lunchbox you got, the collector's edition.
I've got
Mm.
that.
I found that sat on a desk, the exact replica of that, sat on a desk. So I found a few little Easter eggs in there. So we covered the facial customization, the combat, the building. Anything else you want to add, Toby?
One slight glitch I have to point out that I love it. It's hilarious. Is because I have to mention though before that is third person actually works in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I still prefer playing it in first person because that's the way I've always played it. But
Yeah,
third person does work now. You can actually have combat in third person.
you can. Yeah,
Moving around doesn't feel too clunky in third person.
Yeah, I felt like
They,
third person in Fallout 3 was just too used to see what outfits look like.
yeah, it was
yeah.
definitely.
It, but no, third person does work in Fallout 4 now. But obviously, maybe it's a bit late because everyone's so used to playing in first.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
I spend a good 95% of my time in first person, but I have done some stuff in third, testing it out, and it does work quite nicely.
Like Mavis
The
said,
one,
I just look at my outfit. I see only my
the
top hat
one
and
thing,
shades.
the one thing I wasn't, well, the one thing that makes me laugh though is if you play it in third person, you know when you go into a dialogue with someone,
Yep.
and if you move yourself too much, it'll pull you out of face to face, so you can kind of
Yeah.
move around
You
while they're
can move
doing it.
around. Yeah, you're not locked
If you
into
do
the
that,
conversation.
if you do that while in third person, you'll naturally turn your back on them and turn your head. So it's
Yeah,
kind of like you're giving them some sass and like kind of watching
yeah,
them over your shoulder while
yeah.
you're talking to them. It's quite funny.
That's really good. And then one more thing I want to bring up is the loading times. I don't know how they are on the PC, but we still got pretty, I won't say long, but they're still there, going through doors. And
Play it on PC.
are they eliminated? Are they pretty?
They're not completely eliminated. If you go into an instance, we'll say, so inside a building
Yeah,
that because some of the buildings do just the door opens and you walk in and it's part of the open map.
yeah,
You do get some of the bigger buildings like where you first meet the Minutemen, for example, where it will take you indoors to an instance. You do get a loading screen, but I've never had a loading screen take me longer, even to load up Commonwealth from going outside.
yeah.
Never had a loading screen take me longer than 60 seconds.
Okay, yeah. So not too bad. I mean, they're not that bad, but it's just a little gripe and another little gripe of mine. I don't know if I'm. I don't know. Maybe I haven't played Fallout 3 for a while, but you go into these villages and to me, 90% of the doors seem bolted shut, and there's only like one or two buildings you can go in.
Yeah,
Have you noticed that? I
yeah.
swear to God, in Fallout 3, everywhere was explorable. Every
The
build.
amount, I noticed that the minute, when you go past the Red Rocket
Yeah, and to that
and you get
first
into that
town.
first town,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's like,
exactly.
okay, I thought, right, I can see there's 10 buildings down this street.
Yeah, one of them's
I'm gonna
open.
do them,
Yeah,
I'm gonna do them one opposite at a time, just running
yep.
back and forth across the street. And as soon
Yeah,
as I got onto the street, it's like, oh, I can only go in one of them.
yeah, that's boarded up. That's boarded up. I'm glad it's
Well,
just me.
that's not a lot different from Fallout 3, guys.
Is it not? I swear you could.
See,
No.
I'm not saying that it's different from
Think
Fallout 3.
about it. Like, think of
The
the
way I'm,
only house you could go to in Springvale, and that was the one with the person who owes Colin Moriarty caps.
yeah. See, the one reason it's not that I was comparing it to Fallout to Fallout 3 from my opinion. It's more the fact that the stage we're at now, like if you look at, I know Skyrim had smaller, like fewer buildings, but pretty well. I can't think of any buildings that weren't accessible in
Yeah,
Skyrim, for example.
definitely. That's what
Um,
made me think.
and then it makes you think, like, I don't know, look at something as bad as Daisy, for example. How,
Even Witcher 3 had a lot of open
yeah, I mean,
buildings.
we're at a point now where you should be able to, if there's something there, you should be able to get into it.
But this is like the apocalypse, and that, do you really think there'll be anything that necessary inside the houses that have been
It doesn't matter if there's anything necessary there or not.
I want to go in
If the
there.
house isn't just, if the house isn't so destroyed that you can't get in, I can understand there obviously being that sort of wreckage.
It's still a house.
But
It's still a structure.
yeah,
Yeah,
it should, yeah, if it's a structure, you should still be able to get into it. I mean, think of it from like, I don't know, the immersive realism point of view. You're stuck in the apocalypse, if you will, and you're running into a town. You're being chased by an army of ghouls, zombies, whatever. and your only option for safety is to duck into the nearest building just so you can eat a tin of beans and try and
Yeah.
recuperate.
Hmm.
You can't do that.
It goes back to what I said earlier about being backed into corners. I found myself a lot of the time looking for somewhere to go and there being nowhere to go, and you just backed into a corner because like, none of the buildings are accessible. I'm not moaning about it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's not game breaking for me either.
I'm saying we've had an hour, best part of an hour, saying how much we love the game. You obviously have to get in what not don't dislike about the game, but you have to have some cons in there as well as pros, and that would be it for me. But that's it really. Other from the Bethesda charm bugs, which I haven't had too many of. The game is fucking brilliant, and it's everything I expected and more. It really is.
Yeah,
And
nothing nasty's really poked his head out for me yet. But I mean, like I said to you earlier, if this is going to stand up to the other games, I'm 12 hours in. I've probably got another 2 and 500 hours to go yet.
oh,
I'm
definitely.
sure I'm going to find something horrible in that time, but
Oh, you will. And
at the moment, it's solid.
the internet's been quite harsh as well. I think GameFAQs, a lot of people said, wow, it's Fallout 3 with better graphics. And the graphics as well, a lot of people have been moaning about, which we'll come on to in a minute.
Yeah,
But it's more Fallout. I wanted more Fallout. Everyone else wanted more Fallout. I'm so glad they've just tweaked the things that are in the other Fallouts and haven't really changed anything much. They've just tweaked things, and I'm happy with that. I want it, I'm happy. More Fallout is good.
All I wanted was I wanted the original games expanded, so there's more to do and there's more freedom, and I wanted a new map. Other than that, I'm happy.
Size of the map, is it as big as Fallout 3? I'm not sure. Yeah.
You can get across it. I mean, I'm still only in the first quarter of the map,
Have
but you can get across it very, very quickly.
you've panned right out. It doesn't seem as big to me. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Although, one thing I will admit, though, is it doesn't seem as big as Fallout 3's, but there's so much stuff condensed into it. You can't go 5 minutes without bumping into another enemy or something to scavenge.
It's more populated, isn't it? It's very...
Yeah, there is a lot in the map.
Also, I love the way the NPCs have their own kind of thing going on. The world feels alive. I mean, another little Fallout story. I don't know if you've come across this yet. I was just walking across the wasteland, minding my own business, probably on the way to an objective, and sometimes I just, I press the VATS button to scan around because there's a lot of mines planted around. I'm sure you've been blown up a few times with some random mines.
Yeah.
I always scan around every now and then and target onto a raider. So I snuck up and shot him in the head, but he was actually kneeled down over it was like his girlfriend's dead raider corpse and dug in a hole, like a grave. He was just kneeled down mourning over her, and literally I shot his head off, and I thought, oh shit. But just stuff like that going on around the world. It's terrific.
I was keeping an eye on a small super mutant group.
Yeah.
There was about 6 or 7 of them, and I was just strolling along, and I was quite early into the game, so I had no way of being able to deal with that many.
No.
So I kind of snuck round them, and you could hear them having their own conversations with each other while they're strolling down the road.
It's really interesting listening in, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I got kind of sucked into it. So I decided to kind of follow, listening to them a little bit and seeing what they do. And they actually come across an empty settlement and moved in there for a bit.
That's incredible.
And so I decided, right, I know where they are now. This is probably just some kind of set mechanic. They're just going to walk up and down the street and go back in occasionally.
Yeah.
So I got geared up, went back to that settlement and couldn't find them.
Oh, they'd gone.
And so I went walking back down the pathway off towards where I was going originally. And I found that group of super mutants in another small settlement down the other end of the road.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So what they must be doing is migrating between those two settlements at different times constantly.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really nice touch, rather than it being just, I'm going to stand in this one spot, standing guard permanently throughout the entire game until you decide to come and kill me.
Yeah.
They actually migrate around the place and move and interact with each other. And
the dynamic weather effects is really good as well. The music's absolutely spot on. Listening to the radio, the classic music there. the radio keeps you
Oh, yeah,
updated of what you've been doing.
if I'm spending time in a town crafting or something, or I've found a new civilization that's not trying to kill me, quite often it's bringing up the Pip-Boy, switch on a radio station, let some
Yeah.
music play while you're building and doing some trading.
Oh, overall, it's 14 hours in is nothing in this game, but I mean, I've already gone on for an hour. We've both exchanged stories after 14, 13 hours of gameplay. Imagine when we come back after 100 hours. Imagine the stories we're going to have to tell. It's incredible. And of course, Mabel, we've got Mabel next week. Hopefully, Mabel will be able to tell us some stories of his own, because we're all going to have different experiences. Maybe you're probably going to play completely different than me and Toby.
Oh yeah.
Well, have you got anything planned? I mean, obviously, you can't really say.
I plan on making
jumped.
I really want to try out the village building thing, because I got the mod for Fallout 3 in New Vegas where you got to build your own settlement, and I really enjoyed it. So I want to see it from a professional made, standpoint, see how it works, and make Walter White from Breaking Bad in it as well. But I'm not going to be really concentrating on the story as much, since I know the ending, and I don't feel, compelled to do it. But I just want to dig around. This is my sandbox. This is my perfect game. Yeah.
And of course, your settlements do get attacked as well. So you do have to set up defenses.
Yeah.
But
Well, I hear stories from my mates who've got it that have set up these. One of my friends, there's a bridge separating this village, and what he's done is he's done like a bunch of barricades, so you have to walk under the bridge where there's turrets on either side. That just sounds so freaking cool.
That is really cool, really thoughtful. I've literally placed my turrets randomly. I haven't, like I said earlier in the podcast, I haven't really done too much in that. I've done the basic to pass the quest, but I haven't really done too much. I've put a couple of lights up now with generator just to light the place up. But they've all got it's like a little simulator. You got like a Sims game. You got happiness and stuff, and they're all like 70-80% happy, so they're all right.
Yeah, I mean, I've not done too much in crafting. I mean, I've done obviously building my house, and I've built a few places here and there, but there's a few things that I'd like to see changed, because what they've got is, if you want to place a wall and you want to build your house from scratch, they've got a snap feature where it will automatically snap it to the previous item you placed.
Yeah.
But if you want to rotate it in a different angle, unless you put a roof piece at a certain place to make it snap to that direction, you can't. It will automatically go to 180 degrees, these two wall pieces. But if you want a 90-degree angle, you have to put the roof piece up first in the place where you want the next wall to go.
Jesus.
Which was quite annoying, because I mean, when you try to rotate it, it just automatically snaps it back into where you didn't want it, and so that can be a little bit irksome occasionally. But other than that, the crafting's solid. The only thing that I've seen most people really complain about, and I don't see what the issue is people saying about the graphics.
Yeah,
I'm running it on max settings.
Console looks fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running it maxed out on PC. And yeah, occasionally you might see some of the shadows are a little bit pixelated. Yeah. Or, the hair isn't as realistic as you'd want it to be. Character models look great. Scenery looks okay.
The character models in the old games, they're just very static, puppet-like, weren't they? They're really... The NPCs are really bad. They've improved.
They've definitely improved the graphics, but what I like is the fact that they've improved the game itself. I mean, you could hand me something that doesn't look very, that looks previous gen, but if it had next gen game mechanics and it had a decent amount to do and you had content there, I'd happily take the previous gen graphics.
Absolutely. I mean, they're just a bonus, and they're nice. I mean, they're not horrible, they're not amazing, but they're nice.
No, it's got quite a nice misty look to it.
Yeah, and
like the air is hanging heavy around you, and it's giving it that true sort of aftermath feel of nuclear war, and
I'm happy. Right, we've hit our hour mark, so we're going to go around the table and talk about what we're working on. I am working on all kind of Fallout related stuff, bugs, random occurrences that happen around the world. It's called a Tales Tales from the Fallout. That's what my little series is called. It's just basically random little stuff. Literally, I come across this
Tales from the Fallout.
Tales from the Fallout. I literally
Tales from the Wasteland sounds a bit better, but
I might.
Yeah, that's the exact kind of idea I had.
I might change it to that. But I come across this group around a campfire, and literally he said the guy was having a conversation with me, and he's like, "Yeah, we're a travelling bar. We got sit down for a drink, have a drink with us. We're a travelling bar." So I thought that was a really nice little touch. So I put that on there. I've done a Street to Rage 1 playthrough. You should fucking hell. You should hear me on that video. I've never sworn so much my whole life. I died right on the last level, so go and watch that. It's about 47 minutes long. It's a long one. We'll get right to the end and died. The game is incredibly difficult, and if you want to hear someone swear at a game, go and watch that video. That's it really. I've been working quite a bit on my YouTube channel just to supply more content. So yeah, keep an eye out for the Fallout videos. But I think Toby's Fallout series is going to be much better than mine. Go ahead, go Toby. Promote it.
So, I'm going to be doing a couple different small series with Fallout. We're going to be doing a small series called Blightling in Commonwealth, which is going to be more of a let's play, showing you. I've just kind of been recording myself playing it. I'll be cutting out any spoilers, and you're just going to see some funny stuff happening while I'm playing the game itself. We're going to do a crafting series.
That's the one. I'd love to watch some of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a crafting series called Building Sanctuary.
Love it.
And that's going to be building up a whole new village. I want to try and get anyone who watches it involved in the building of the place, giving me some idea, putting forward ideas, explaining some stuff they want to see, really trying to...
What's the end goal, Toby? Megaton too? Megatron.
I just want to see how big we can build it and how great it's, how awesome we can make this sort of place be.
There is no limit. I think the world is your oyster with that crafting system, literally.
If
you can imagine it, you can build it, which is incredible.
So we're gonna build up our own little, our own sanctuary within the wasteland. And I'm probably going to be doing something along the lines of probably going to compile a Fallout WTF videos with various glitches, funny moments, things that just make you say, what the fuck?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so my channel is going to be very, very Fallout over the next, for the foreseeable future right now until other things come up. My channel is going to be very Fallout 4 related.
I think mine and yours will be. I think Maybe will have other things on his channel. Maybe, what have you got on your channel?
So when are we expecting Time Player?
I've actually got
episode 2, maybe.
I've actually got episode 2 and episode 3 finished. It's just a case of rendering them and uploading them now. So that's 2 whole episodes.
Well, do them after you do the podcast.
I think I might.
That comes first.
That is, I'm reviewing Dick Tracy. That is the second one, both Mega Drive and NES, and the third one is Backyard Wrestling for the Xbox.
Oh, fantastic!
What a game!
Okay, I love the way Maybe pulls these random shite games out of his arse.
Oh yeah.
And Maybe, I'm really sorry you couldn't be more involved tonight, but I'm glad.
It's been fun listening about Fallout 4 though, because I'm getting more and more hyped just listening about it. And
I'm sure next week we'll all have completely new stories, and maybe you'll have your own opinions on the game, and I'd love to see how they contrast with mine and Toby's. Again, Maybe, cheers for stopping in. I know you got a busy night, and with you, Toby, you're also busy tonight. I'm going to go and play Fallout right now.
I'm going to get back to Monster Hunter, I think.
Yeah, and Toby, you got plans, I assume?
Yeah, yep.
Fallout plans?
No, I've been crafting a Fallout while we've been doing the pod, though, so...
I have to be concentrated. I won't be able to do that. I'm literally just staring at the screen right now, like trying...
I've been sat playing Moonwalker again.
Jesus.
Well, I figured, I didn't want to put too much concentration and go and do a mission or get killed by a super mutant and start swearing at the pod, so I figured I'd chill out, bit of crafting.
Nice. Right, guys. Come back next week. We'll have plenty more to talk about and plenty of more Fallout stories. So thanks for tuning in. Maybe I'll see you later. And Toby, I'll see you later.
Goodbye, man.
Bye.
See you, dude.
Bye. Bye.